Hello, hello, hello. I always start the same way. I'm trying to think of a different way to start these videos, but I always go, hello. Hi. So I'm going to have to think on that one because, yeah. Welcome. Happy Tuesday evening. For those of you in the US, happy a different time for those of you in a different place. I'm so glad you're here already. Let me know in the little chat section, where are you guys watching from? Can you hear me? Is everything all good? Where are you watching from? How are you feeling today? I always do these videos first on Facebook so I can kind of work out the kinks of what I'm going to say so I can come over here and try to actually say it properly on this side. So I just finished hey, Angela, just coming in from Florida. That's awesome. So I can kind of know what I'm going to say and then come over here and do this for my official YouTube family. I'm so glad to be here. If you guys are watching this on the replay, thanks so much for watching. Hello. Paula from New York. Hello, Paula. Joe is seeing me and hearing me loud and clear in Minnesota. Thank you so much. Nicholas Lee's from Southeast Wisconsin, loud and clear. Awesome. Thank you so much. Deanne from Alabama. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. I'm so glad you guys are here. I've got a fun topic for you today. What if I'm too tired and have no energy to cook? Chris is coming in from Michigan. Hello, Chris. So first off, what I want to do is just mention we are doing another 21-day challenge. We got Martha from Georgia. Hello. Deanna from Connecticut too. Deanna is here. Doing another 21-day challenge. This is a 21-day Eat to Live challenge coming up. You can sign up for it at thewateringmouth.com/challenge. I do these several times a year. This is our fourth one and our last one for this year, by the way. We do all Eat to Live foods, recipes, meal plans, grocery lists. You get tons of community support. Hundreds of people are going to be doing this. If it's the same as it was the last 3 challenges, more and more people join every time. It gets so exciting. I have a Facebook group that everyone joins in as well, and it turns into this crazy, awesome challenge party. Everyone's doing the challenge all at the same time. So we're all making the meals at the same time together. Hey, Becky from Portland. And 21 days of super healthy food. People feel so good during it. They lose weight. They learn about the Eat to Live lifestyle. They learn about how much to eat in order to feel satiated, in order to lose weight and get all your G-bombs and all that kind of stuff. It's really like a crash course in Eat to Live. And it's stupid affordable, you guys. It's so affordable. So I would love to see you guys in there, wateringmouth.com/challenge. This next one starts October 7th, which is 2 weeks from yesterday. And it's going to start opening for registration next week. So you want to get on this list because I'm sending out, as I do every time, I'm sending out a free 3-video workshop, like a little mini course with some really good information about your journey and how you can be successful and all that. And you will get those videos, access to those videos starting on Friday this week, I think. So make sure you sign up. And Nicholas says, thank you so much too, and happy you're still doing this after a few years since finding me. Awesome, Nicholas. It's so cool that you've been here for so long, and it looks like you're gonna join in on the challenge too. So good. And you're coming in from Mesa. Brenda is coming in from Mesa, Arizona. Thanks, Nicholas. Brenda, so good to see you. And we got Annalisa from Colorado Springs. I'm such an inspiration. Oh, thank you. Love my lifestyle change story and how I open up about my initial struggles. Yeah, but you know what, Annalisa? I also struggle. Yesterday, if you guys saw what I ate yesterday, you'd be like, wait a minute. Are you a Nutritarian? And I'd be like, not yesterday. But I have days like that too, okay? So that's what I'm here to support you on. And we can still struggle and still be successful. Okay? All right, so let's get into the topic for today. Make sure you sign up here if you're interested in doing the challenge. More information is coming out really, really soon, and it's super affordable. Okay, so the subject of this video is a question that comes up so often for me, so often as a private coach, as I'm running this awesome, amazing 6-week workshop right now with tons of amazing people. It comes up all the time. on my YouTube channel, in my email and everything, this question of, I'm so tired, I have no energy. How do I make this work when I feel so tired when I get home from work? Such a common thing to hear that, we have really stressful days, many of us. Maybe we have a position at work that's stressful and we have to hold, a lot of balls in the air and we've got to keep a lot of things going. And then we come home from work and all we want to do is just relax. But maybe we have a family to take care of. Maybe our husband doesn't eat the way we do, or maybe our kids are picky. Like a woman just on the Facebook Live that I did a second ago was saying she has 3 picky children. Totally get it. My daughter goes through super, super picky phases. Like one day she wants, oh my gosh, she loves all this food. And then the next day I try to make it for her again. And she's like, why are you giving me this? Right? And she has 3 kids. I only have 1 kid, right? So it makes sense, like when you think about it logically, that we would come home and be like very tired and all that. By the way, I'm just going to put a link up for the 21-day challenge in the comment section. So if you guys want to sign up for that real quick, you can do that. And Chris says, newbie failed yesterday, back on track today. Amazing. That's all you got to do. Just keep going, right? So we come home from work, we're super tired. Totally makes sense. By the way, there's nothing wrong with you if this is how you feel and this is what happens, because I would, like, if I were to survey you guys right now, I could totally predict that 95% of you have this same feeling when you come home from work or a long day or whatever, right? Paula, you're so welcome. She found me 2 months ago on Instagram. I'm so glad. Yay, cool, because I barely do my Instagram. I'm working on doing it more in the future and being more regular about that, but I haven't been able to do that. So I'm glad you found me there. So by the way, on my Instagram is a ton of really good ideas for meals. So instagram.com/thewateringmouth if you're interested. So it's a common thing to hear. It's a common thing to think and feel. And there's nothing wrong with if you feel this way when you get home and you're super exhausted and you just can't do another thing, right? Like you just don't want to do another thing. But so we have this story around kind of how tired we are and what's going on, but I want to give you this, I want to give you a little idea of like another way that you could think of this. Okay. What I want to give you the idea of is where our energy actually comes from. So when we say a lot of the times, like I get this in private client calls a lot, like when I'm starting up with somebody, a very, very common issue is that I just have no energy. I want more energy. And the thing is, people see it as a catch-22 because they want to eat healthy and they know that eating healthy will give them more energy, but they don't have the energy to eat healthy. So how can they get there, right? It feels like a total catch-22. I hear it all the time. And it kind of makes sense logically when you'd be like, oh, I'll never figure that out, right? But let's just talk about where energy comes from for a second. So where do you think energy comes from? Can anyone comment and let me know where you think your energy actually comes from? Because a lot of the times we'll hear that people think it comes from food, it comes from, water, things like this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Where do you think your energy comes from? And we got silence, and that's totally okay. We don't have a ton of people on here right now, so that's fine. Maybe the comments are just taking a second to come in, but where does your energy come from? Carbs, Annalisa says, for sure. Carbs, carbohydrates, right? Food, Clara says. Yeah, we get our energy from food. Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So we say that we get our energy from food. Now, let me put you in a little bit of a different situation for a second. Let's say you just woke up, you haven't eaten since, yesterday, right? Like you had dinner and then you went to bed and you just woke up. So you got an empty stomach. Let's say there's a fire in your apartment building and immediately you spring into action. You start looking for your important documents. You grab your cat carrier, you grab your cat, shove them in, run out the door, and you get out the door. Then you notice that someone in the apartment across the hall from you is trying to get their animals. So you're helping them and you're holding their baby while they're running in for their stuff and you're helping them and all that kind of stuff. And at this moment, you just spring into action, right? Clara says stored fat. Becky says exercise maybe. Okay. Getting enough sleep, green tea. Okay. Where did you get the energy from for that moment when you had the fire in your apartment? Where did that energy come from? Because you haven't eaten in hours, right? So you may have some stored energy, you may have some fat that you could pull things from, but that's not how digestion works, right? Like when we want to act and when we want to do something, we don't automatically get this, all of a sudden we lost 5 pounds and in order to be able to get our cats out of the burning apartment building, right? Like, where does that actual energy come from? I'll give you another example. Okay. This is one I used on my Facebook live just a second ago. So Harriet in the kitchen says, heart. I wonder if you mean it comes from your heart. Nicholas says, a can of spinach like Popeye. Yeah, probably. Okay. So let me give you another example. Let's say we use that example of we just came home from work and we're super exhausted, right? And we've got like the weight of the world from work. All of our responsibilities are weighing on us. And then we come home, say it's that woman from my Facebook Live. She's got 3 picky kids. She's got maybe, I don't know, making this up, but maybe she's got a husband who doesn't want to eat Nutritarian. Maybe he's a meat eater. He eats dairy. He argues with her all the time, gives her a hard time. So she comes home, she wants to make this food, and yet she has work struggles, family struggles, picky eaters. She's got to make, separate meals for all of them. And then she's somehow got to find the energy for herself, but she's exhausted, right? Like she just had like the hardest day in the world. She's so tired and she just cannot find the energy. Where does she get her energy from? Now, here's the example I want to give you. Let's say, in the last video, I used the example of Ed McMahon. Do you guys know who Ed McMahon was? He used to work for one of those, he was like the spokesperson for one of those lottery things. Like they would always come on commercials and show how you could win all this money in the publisher's clearinghouse, right? Like if you just enter to win or whatever, you're going to win thousands of dollars. So let's say Ed McMahon shows up at your house at that moment when you are at your lowest point, you've got no energy, you feel so exhausted, and he has a big, huge check for $10,000. And he says, if you make a healthy dinner right now, like a 3-course, super fantastic, healthy dinner, I will give you this $10,000 check. What would you do? Tell me in the comment section, what would you do if this guy shows up with $10,000 and says he's going to give you all this money if you make a healthy dinner? What would you do? I'm going to tell you what I would do. I would run to Pinterest, find the most elaborate, amazing, healthy, highest rated meal I could find, and I would go to town, starting to make that entire dinner. I'd have no problem doing it. Allison says, make the damn dinner. Absolutely. Joe says, do it. For sure. You would do it. Clara says, do it. You would make that dinner without even thinking about it, right? Jillian says she'd make her chickpea dal. Can you share that recipe? That sounds really good. I'm kind of hungry. All right. So someone comes to your door, says they're going to give you $10,000 if you make that dinner. Now, immediately you got more energy than you thought you could ever muster at that moment, right? Same thing could happen. You're in that same exact state where you think you are the tiredest of the tired. All of your senses and everything in your brain is telling you, lay down, go watch TV, don't do anything, like just get a piece of bread and eat that and be done with it, right? Everything in your mind is telling you, go watch Netflix. Even at that moment, like anything could trigger you into crazy amounts of action. And the energy just springs up like a well out of nowhere. That is what I want to draw your attention to. Now, here's the interesting part. If this guy was like, hey, here's the $10,000 check. Let me test this meal, see how it tastes. Let me see if it's really good. And if it seems really healthy, then I'll give you the $10,000. So he goes to taste it. He's testing it. He's like, wow, you did a really good job. I'm surprised. That's great. I thought you were really tired, right? But like, I just said you were going to get $10,000 and you made a healthy meal. This is fantastic. And then he goes, but April Fools, this is not an actual check. I'm just some dude off the street, and this is a candid camera. It's not real, right? This is not a real thing. You are not getting any money. You will have still made that meal. You will have still created that entire meal and a whole amount of energy that you were convinced that you did not have, an hour ago when you came home from work. The only thing that changed was your thought that I'm going to get $10,000 if I make a meal. The only thing that changed was your thought in that situation. Yeah, a guy came to your door with a check, but the check wasn't real. So the only thing that actually changed in order to get you to make that meal was a thought in your mind. So then inevitably, right, I used this example with a client recently on a call, and her first question was, yeah, Cheri says you're putting your mindset on something else. Absolutely. So the first question out of my client's mouth was, okay, so how do I change my thought? Right? If I can see that it's my thought that's making me feel tired, how do I change my thought, right? Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, because you would think that what you need to do is to just find a new thought that's just as motivating as a $10,000 check. But why doesn't that work, right? Because that means we would need $10,000 to make dinner every night. Like that's impossible. And if you know it's a lie, you're not going to believe it, right? So this is where it gets a little slippery for people, because they think, oh, well, I'm just never going to be able to find a thought that's going to work, right? And Allison is one of my workshoppers, and I'm so blessed to have her on live right now. Thank you so much, Allison. She says, you just got home from work and you don't want to cook, but now I'm just doing it. There you go. This is my guilt trip to you, Allison. Like, this whole video was just so you would make dinner. So now all I need to do is go live every single night at 5 p.m. in everyone's time zone, so you guys will make dinner. Just kidding. Okay, so the slippery part is that we think all we need to do is just find a thought that's going to be as motivating as that $10,000, right? That's why it doesn't work. That's why just changing our thoughts doesn't work, right? Like, it is impossible to find a motivating thought every single day. And people are always like, I just need to be motivated. I just need to get the energy. I just need to be determined, right? And then that's why it's very easy for us to hate ourselves when we can't do that. But that's not humanly possible. It's not a thing that we can do, right? To have that motivation all the time. But so what I want to point out to you is that, first of all, the simple act of noticing that it was only a thought that made you create dinner, and it wasn't that you needed to eat a whole plate of pasta beforehand, like you didn't need the carbs in order to make the dinner, that the energy was just always available to you at any moment, right? You go down the highway, you see an accident, it's in progress, and you're the only one that can help. You pull over, you do your thing, and whatever, you get the energy for that, right? You find that energy somewhere. It comes up like a well. And that's how energy works. You don't need to have, carb loaded the night before in order to be able to fuel your next day. Like, we can go for days without food if we need to, and we can be in the middle of emergency situations and pull up all the energy that we've ever needed to lift a car, right? We could do that if we needed to. So that energy is something that's just available to us. We can have it whenever we want. And how do we tap into it? It's with our thoughts. So what I want to show you is that our thoughts create our feelings, and that's kind of like the basis of all this. Our thoughts always create our feelings. So if we want to feel motivated, if we want to feel energetic, we have to have the right set of thoughts to kind of do that. But what I want to show you is that you don't need a $10,000 check to be able to create a thought, or a death threat, or a car accident, or a fire in your apartment in order to be able to act. The first thing you need to do is to be able to realize that it is only thoughts that create that energy for you. When we realize, first of all, that it's just a set of thoughts, it takes away a little bit of that validity of that story. So if we're telling ourselves that we're too tired, we have no energy, we can't make dinner, our day was too stressful, our husband is too close-minded, our kids are too picky, I just can't tonight. If we're telling ourselves that story, and then we realize that that is just a story, and that if an external motivation came in, we could summon all the energy we needed, it proves that original story untrue. You guys get that at all? Like, do you kind of see that weird shift that's like, wait a minute, so the story I was telling myself wasn't even true in the first place about how I was too tired and I had no energy? Just seeing that story as a story itself is the first step to being able to just do what needs to be done at that point. Okay, so the first step is to even notice that that story is just a story. Yeah, it's just a story. It's not real. It's made up, totally made up. The next thing that we have to do is we have to realize that our thoughts are choices, and every single thought that we ever have in our life is a choice. This one is hard to understand. But if we can choose to think that we're super tired and there's no way to make dinner, we can also choose to think that there is definitely a way for me to make dinner if I had the right thoughts about it. Jolene says, it's so true in so many aspects of her life. Your mindset has turned, Jolene's mindset has turned you into a procrastinator. Absolutely, 100%. It's just the thoughts that are doing that to you and making you think that you're a procrastinator. But at any moment, we have the ability to change any thought that we want. And we don't even need to find that super motivating, amazing thought that's the equal and opposite force to that negative thought. We just need to realize that that story we're telling ourselves, that original thought isn't even true, and we don't even have to believe it. So that's actually one of my favorite thoughts to use, by the way. I don't have to believe that. So it'll, like if you were actually like listening to my thoughts in my head, you think I was totally crazy. But a lot of the times it goes like that, where I'll be in the kitchen thinking like, oh, I just don't want to make a salad, right? Like I just really, really don't want to make a salad. My thought pattern is always, I don't have to believe that. Like I don't have to believe this about myself, that I just can't make a salad, or I just don't have the energy for it, or whatever. My thought pattern is always something that starts off negative, starts off with a demotivating, unhelpful, energy sucking type thought. And then I just have like this intermediate conversation that's like, I don't have to believe all that crap. You know, if someone offered me $10,000 right now, I would totally make dinner. I would totally make a salad. I'm just being lazy right now. I could totally find the energy, right? That little conversation right there, that's not like I need $10,000 in order to make dinner. It's like, I don't even have to believe this tired story. That's enough to start the shift. That itself, just realizing that that's a story, that is enough to make that shift. And so Jolene brings up a really good point here, because this is why I do life coaching instead of just weight loss coaching, right? She makes a point that it's true in so many aspects of your life, which is so true. Like with this procrastination thing, I have a huge procrastination thing too, right? And I started to notice this 8 or 9 months ago when I started doing this work, that it was all correlating, because when I'm like procrastinating really bad, like last night was one of those anomalies of a day. It was just like, who even am I? Like, what am I doing? I stayed up. I had a little project that I had to do, and I stayed up from 9:30 p.m. until 3 in the morning. Well, 2:30 in the morning, watching YouTube videos, like, like not working, procrastinating, until I finally got it together at like, I don't know, 1 or 2 a.m. or something like that. And then it took me like an hour to do the work. I didn't get to bed until 3 a.m. last night. That is so out of character for me. The whole time I'm going, I should be stopping this. I know I should not be watching these videos. I know I should get to this task. If I just did the task, it would take like 30 minutes and I'd be done, but I'm just going to keep procrastinating. And I just kept going. All of those thoughts were choices at the time. So if I had taken it upon myself to actually just center for a second and be like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, why am I procrastinating? Because I just don't want to do this task, but I'm going to do the task anyways. So why am I wasting all of my sleep time on this? If I'd actually took the moment to just think and actually just see what was going on and watch my thoughts from the top down, I could see this crazy thought pattern going up. Oh, I have to watch these videos. I got to watch more. I have to know what the R. Kelly scandal was all about. And then I have, like, you guys, the spiral of videos I was watching yesterday was like, I just keep thinking about it today, about how stupid it was. Like, I actually don't care about any of that stuff, but like, it made me lose so much sleep last night. And I'm like, what? But if we can, in that moment, realize that and actually accept what's happening, I am spiraling on YouTube videos because I don't want to do this work. And if I did this work, it would just take a few minutes to get done. If we can actually just be present enough with our thoughts, we can watch our thoughts from the top down in order to see that going on. That's when we start to get some peace, some agency over that, some control, and the ability to really start to make positive changes in our lives. Now, As I said, that was an anomaly last night. I usually don't do that. Usually I might watch YouTube videos for about a half an hour and then I'm like, okay, I got to get to it. And then I work and I'm all good. Sometimes I don't watch YouTube videos at all because I'm in a very serious state of like, no, I'm just going to do what I need to do. And I'm really, really looking at my thoughts, like my urge to watch YouTube or my urge to go on Facebook or whatever. I can just kind of sit with that urge and be okay with it. Let it be there. Let it be super uncomfortable. Urging me to do that thing that's procrastinating or whatever. I can let that urge be super uncomfortable and then go do my work and get it done. Then afterwards, I feel so much better. It's the same thing as having the healthy meal or actually getting up to create the healthy meal. If we can actually be present enough in our thoughts to go, what's going on here? Like, why am I eating the sandwich instead of making the salad, right? Why am I just eating the meal I made for my husband instead of this meal I already had prepped in the fridge? Or why am I not just taking an extra 20 minutes to throw something together for myself after I cook for them or whatever? Like, why can I make food for them but not for myself, et cetera, et cetera? When we start to like actually look at that story and thought pattern that we have in our minds, that's when we start to really get some control over the situation and understanding that all of those thoughts that we're creating, those are choices. And we get the ability to change any of those thoughts at any moment. Lisa says, we don't even have to change the thought or belief we don't want. Just open up to an alternate, more helpful thought. Exactly. And Lisa, I even argue that it's not even like knowing what the new thought is either, right? Like we don't even have to know exactly what it's going to take to get us motivated. It can just be a conversation. So I think of it like, okay, here's our negative thought pattern. We've got this really negative story telling us something like, I'm too tired. I'll never be able to do this. This is terrible. I'm a terrible person, whatever. Then we've got the motivating thoughts over here that are like, you're amazing. You can do this. You're awesome. You have tons of energy for this, right? Those are like the polar opposites of each other. And this would be the set of thoughts that would keep you going. But in the middle is only awareness of that set of thoughts and awareness of that set of thoughts. The awareness is actually what can make us move forward if we want to. It's just having to have that awareness and knowing that we don't even have to believe this section of thoughts over here about ourselves, that we can just believe that, hey, I could get energy whenever I needed it. The only reason I'm not doing it is because I'm feeling lazy or because I'm choosing to think that I'm too tired, and I don't have to think that, right? So it's just that awareness that is really the issue. So Jillian says, why am I eating nuts and raisins while watching Netflix? Yeah, it's the same thing, same exact thing, because you're sitting there doing all what in my coaching, what we call buffering. Buffering is doing the things that we do in order to not feel the pain of something else. So watching Netflix and eating nuts and, trail mix and stuff, that's like a buffering. That's kind of like doing something in place of the other hard thing that we should be doing instead, which could just be sleeping, right? Or it could be exercising, or it could be making the salad or eating healthy or whatever. When we do that other thing in place of it, we think we're actually making it feel less painful because we're getting some dopamine from those nuts and seeds and from watching Netflix and zoning out and stuff, when really we're doing the thing and having it's like having a donut and then piling on like some cement over it or something. Like you have the donut and then you're piling on this layer of like guilt and shame, and then weeks of like, why did I do that? And what's wrong with me and all that. So you have this little momentary moment of like awesomeness and you're like, oh, this is really, really cool. I love Netflix and raisins and nuts, right? And then you pile on this whole other section of like, oh, cool, but now I have to deal with this guilt stuff and the not doing the thing I should have been doing stuff, right? Like me last night, I kept thinking to myself, oh my gosh, it's 12 already. Oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. Oh, it's 2 a.m. And I'm like, I'm not sleeping. I'm not getting the sleep I should be getting, all that, right? So you're just kind of piling it on. So the point that I want to make for you today on this is that when someone asks, I'm just so tired all the time, how do I prep and how do I eat healthy when I'm so tired and I just don't have the energy? I actually want you to think of that in a different way. I actually don't want you to think of it as an energy issue at all, because you can get that energy whenever you want. I want you to think of it as a thought issue, that actually it's just those thoughts that are creating that lack of energy. What's the word? Like the appearance of a lack of energy, right? When it's actually not true. It's just the thoughts that are doing this. So you have a choice in that matter. You can decide whatever you want to think in that moment, and you just keep doing it. And then you just keep practicing it every day. So every time something like this comes up, like the procrastination or whatever, you just keep practicing it until you get better and better and better. And you might have a few weeks where you're totally sucking and like you're just not doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? Then you get better and better and better. And the longer you do it, you realize, oh, a few years later, wow, I'm actually really good at this compared to where I used to be, kind of a thing, right? It's not this like linear journey that's just super simple and easy and then you're there. It's working on yourself, like learning a martial art or learning yoga or something like that, okay? Okay, so that, if anyone has any questions, let me know in the chat section. I would love to answer some questions today, but I'm gonna just skip to the last thing I wanted to say. Another thing that you can do, and this isn't available to everybody all the time, but it's available to you right now. You can cut down on your prep and your thinking and all the other things you have to do by joining one of my 21-day challenges that's coming up really, really soon. 21-day Eat to Live challenge. I put these on every couple of months. This is the 4th one and the final one this year. All right, so if you haven't signed up already, make sure you sign up at thewateringmouth.com/challenge. There's a link that I put in the comment section here and also in the description of this video. So make sure you sign up. This list is for interest. So you tell me that you're interested and I'm going to send you a bunch of free content and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be sending out a brand new set of three free videos. It's like a little mini workshop, a little mini course about some of this stuff. Very, very good information in there. You will get that starting on Friday. Whoever signs up for this list, you'll start to get that information sent out to you. And then I will open up registration for the 21-day challenge, okay? So make sure you sign up, wateringmouth.com/challenge, so you can get in on the free information that's going out. And I'm going to open up registration for a short period of time, then I'm going to shut down registration because it's a live challenge. So everyone's going to be starting out on the same day. So registration's only open temporarily. So make sure you get in on that when you can. Live challenge is going to be super awesome. I'm going to remove so much thinking for you. You're going to be like, what? You're not even going to believe how much you don't have to think. If there's anyone in here, Uday, it's so good to see you. If there's anyone in here who has done one of my 21-day challenges, let me know what you think about it in the chat section there so we can spread the word a little bit. These 21-day challenges, I've done a lot of challenges in my life, meaning challenges where, you know, for a set period of days, you eat a certain program of food, you know, this protocol, you eat this, you're hoping to lose weight, you're hoping to learn the lifestyle, etc. I've done a lot of people's challenges over the years, and there was just always like a lot missing to me. I always felt like, Jillian says, if I have done a challenge, do I have to sign up again or am I on the list? You'll be on the list already still, so you don't have to sign up again, okay? And then you'll just register when registration is open again. So when you do a challenge like this, you know, I've done other people's challenges and there was just always like a lot of things that I felt like I could do better. Because I'd done even Dr. Furman's 10 and 20 challenge and I loved it, but it was way too much work, right? And so having done so many different challenges like this, I was just like, there's got to be a way to streamline this a little bit, make it a little bit easier. So you it's kind of like boot camp, but it's like an easier boot camp, you know, and you kind of, by the time you're done with it, you know a lot of recipes, you know so much about the Eat to Live lifestyle in order to, like, how much to eat and what to eat in order to lose weight, to be satiated, right? Like I think that's the most important thing that I try to give on these challenges. Show you that you can eat a ton of food actually on Eat to Live and still lose weight at the same time. And the way that we do that is by following like typical Eat to Live kind of guidelines, which is tons of food, but low calorie food. So lots of fiber, lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, lots of beans, things like this, but lower on the calorie scale so that you can eat a ton of it and still lose weight. And so I put my challenges all together like that so that you will get those results. Weight loss, satiety, you know, not a ton of hunger. And also I really, really try to break down the prep instructions for you so that you're not having to do more than 15, 20 minutes of prep cooking and stuff like that per day, really, so you can cut down. And there's even a bunch of days in there where you don't have to do hardly anything. And I try to break it down little by little so that you can prepare something and then not have to make it for the next few days. I have a sort of proprietary system that I use called sets that I made up. That is where you learn a set of meals and you have it for the following 2 days. You don't have to do that, but it actually creates so much freedom that you would never, ever, ever imagine, because you learn how to do something over and over again. You get a really good handle on how to make things, and all the thinking is removed for at least 2 days because you're like, oh, I already did this. I know how to do this again, right? It makes it so easy. And that is really, it honestly is the best thing that people love about these challenges. In addition to sets and all that other prep instruction and everything, you get grocery lists for everything. So you know exactly what to buy, how much of it to buy. And then I give, oh my gosh, so many other bonuses, like just crazy amounts of bonuses. So sign up for the 21-day challenge. It's starting. The fun part is like hundreds of people sign up every time, and we all do it live starting on the same day. So we're going to start it live, do it together. We'll all be eating the same meals every single day. And if you have any questions, there's a free Facebook group that's included with this challenge, and you can even get in there now. And you can ask questions, and you ask a question and I swear like 10 people will answer within half an hour or something. Like, you get so much support, especially if you're new to this lifestyle. It's such a great way to go. Jolene says, I loved the challenge. It was so organized and easy to do. You did all the hard thinking prep. I still use all your recipes. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. And Joe says, I love the sets. Makes it very easy. I'm so glad. So you heard it straight from 2 of the previous challengers. This time, I'm just going to mention again, sign up, thewateringmouth.com/challenge, to get more information about it and be alerted when registration is open, which is going to be October 1st, is it a week from today. And if you happen to be watching this video after the challenge is done, make sure you still sign up, because this is the list that I will continue to notify you of when more challenges are coming out. But this is our last and final challenge of the year, by the way. I also don't think I'm doing another challenge until maybe March of next year, because I have big plans for January and February for you guys. So keep an eye out for the next challenge, but that means you want to get in on this one if you can, if you've ever wanted to try one. Also, I am notorious for not selling challenges again after the challenge is done. Notorious. So you're going to have an opportunity on this challenge to be able to purchase previous challenges. But after I'm done with this, I don't think I'm going to be selling these again until the next challenge comes up, which could be 6 months from now. I actually don't know. That's kind of about what I'm thinking. So keep all this in mind if you're interested. Make sure you sign up, wateringmouth.com/challenge. I'd love to see you in there. It is so much fun during challenge time. And you guys, there's no questions today. So I guess I talked enough to bore you probably. So thank you so much for sticking with me on this video. I'm so happy to see you guys live and to be able to spend some time with you. And I hope to see you in the upcoming challenge. I hope that this information about this idea of being too tired to cook and stuff, I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that it's something that you can kind of keep rolling in your mind as you go throughout your days and start to make up stories about how much energy you don't have. I know I tell myself that story all the time, and then I'm like, don't have to believe that. Sometimes I do believe it, but most of the time I really do try to keep those thoughts in check. So your thoughts are choices. You can change them anytime you want. Thanks for watching. I love spending time with you guys. Jillian says, best life coach ever. I was so glad. I'm so glad. You guys are going to get like an obnoxious amount of free content from me in the next coming months and years. So keep with me. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, because there's so much good stuff coming. I appreciate you, Allison. It's so good to see you. Thank you for showing up. And thank you guys for just being the best audience ever, for reals. I am so grateful for you. Have an awesome Tuesday night. You got enough energy to make meals for the rest of your life and make them healthy and figure out ones that you love. So get to it. Keep going. Stick with it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have a good night. Moo's like, okay, time to eat. Moo, you want to say hi to everybody? She wants to say hi really fast. Ooh. Oops, sorry about the microphone. She's like, Mom, why are you holding me like this? All right, guys. Have a good night. See ya. Oh, wait. Sue says, thanks so much for the challenges. Absolutely love the cucumber smoothie. You're awesome. Thanks, Sue. You're awesome, too. See you in the next one. Bye, guys, for real this time.